Hello YouTube and happy Thanksgiving. A little behind, I guess. I figured that today I wanted to do something a little different and I'm going to cook Thanksgiving dinner for my family. Now, I know it might not sound like terribly out there, but you need to know a little bit of the background story. I'm obviously in Costa Rica and we don't celebrate Thanksgiving as they do in the US. As a Christian, obviously I do enjoy celebrating because obviously every day should be Thanksgiving Day, right? But today I really wanted to have some traditional Thanksgiving food because last year I had a feast since I was in Georgia and they cooked amazing. So we're just going to try to recreate some of those recipes. I've never done this before, so I'm kind of expecting failure, but we'll do our best and let's see how it goes. And you'll come along with me and see how it goes. I'm making a mac and cheese casserole, I'm making a sweet potato casserole, and blueberry pie. I know it's not very Thanksgiving-y, but we didn't have pumpkin puree, so I only found blueberries. So we'll make do with what we have. Also some s'mores if we can. And yeah, let's just see how it goes. I'm following some Pinterest recipes, so we'll see. But come along with me and either witness a success or a failure. For ingredients, we are going to use 1 can of blueberry puree, some cornstarch, a lemon juice, and lemon zest. We are going to put all of these in a bowl and then just mix them up. As I mentioned before, I got all these recipes from Pinterest, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing here, but it honestly turned out to be really cool. For the cornstarch, we actually had to dissolve it in a little bit of water. That's what my mom was helping me with, but it honestly gave it a really good consistency. Here I am taking out the pie crust from the freezer. I made this one the day before. Also, I found a recipe on YouTube and it was super easy to follow and it turned out really good. And then I was just like pouring the stuffing into the pie crust. After that was done, I started preparing another batch of pie crust because I had to make the cover for it, and I could not do that overnight because I needed it to be a little bit softer for me to be able to manage it. It's a little bit of a messy process. I had to do it a couple of times again because it's my first time doing it, but it was honestly pretty fun. At the end, what I did was just cut it in vertical stripes. As you can see later on here, it was just like trying to give it some form with this roller thing that I forget what you call it. And then I just tried to make a little bit of like a decoration on the pie, which turned out to look really cute in my opinion. Since this was the very first time I made one of these, I was honestly very excited and I didn't find it that hard to make and it tasted quite good. My next task was to prepare a sweet potato casserole. I've never ever done this before, but I've tried it a couple of times and I absolutely love it. So first we had to wrap the potatoes into thin foil and then put them in the oven. I put them there for like an hour just because these ones were a tiny bit bigger than usual, and that was the beginning of the process. While the potatoes were in the oven, I started prepping the mac and cheese because I did it on the crock pot, so these would take about 2.5 hours to cook. I added all the cheeses and the milks and the cream cheese. Honestly, it was so many ingredients, but it was looking amazing. It was so very creamy. To be honest, I actually needed more milk, but we ran out of that, so they were a little bit sticky, which I don't mind since they tasted real good, but I would have liked it to be a little bit creamier. But it was a very easy process as well. Just pour everything into the crock pot and stir like every 30 minutes or so, and you got your mac and cheese. second part of the sweet potato casserole. We removed the potatoes from the oven and then we peeled them and then we started smashing them a little bit. It was again a little bit of a messy process, but kind of satisfying at the same time. We were supposed to add some other ingredients like some milk, which as I mentioned before, we were running out of, so I barely got enough for it. I think it also needed vanilla and some maple syrup, and then just the topping was like sugar, all-purpose flour, and I think it was walnuts. It's just a mix process, and you just put it into this type of pan, kind of decorate it, put it into the oven. It was looking so good with the marshmallows on top, and there's your mac and cheese. Then it was finally time for dessert, and we took out the pie. Honestly, it was looking so good. I loved it. And that was pretty much it for this video, guys. I know it was a little bit short, but it was like a bonus for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving as much as I did. Goodbye!